Okay, so we are looking at question 2 now. Okay, so it says, Annex A shows the student fees statement for Tamron Abrahams, a second-year architecture student at the University of Cape Town. Use Annex A to answer the questions that follow. So Annex A is in the addendum, and here it is. This is her whole fee. So let's just jump in and see what is going on. Okay. Okay, just a reminder to start your question on a new page. I'm not doing that because no one is marking my work, so I don't have to create that convenience for them. But you must do that so that it can be marked appropriately. So the first question says, explain the meaning of the term interest with reference to the student fees statement. So we see over here, right, that interest on overdue fees. So basically, right, these are the fees she owed or was owed by the person who was paying her university. Here it looks like John, whoever John is, some relation of hers was paying for it. And this was the balance that she still owed. So what happened is they charged interest, okay, because it was this amount still owed. So the way that we can refer to that is it's this extra amount charged for the late payment. Okay, if she hadn't had the late payment or she hadn't been had a balance that was still due, she wouldn't be paying interest. Okay, so there's many ways you can describe it, but the way I would do it is just saying it's a charge, right, for overdue fees. Okay, remember we pay interest, right, when someone else is using, well, we pay interest when we are using someone else's money, okay, and we are owed interest when someone else is using our money. In this case, the university is saying you owe us money and you haven't paid that to us. So we're going to charge interest because you effectively are using our money for something else. Okay, that's how it's kind of the way I would frame it. Obviously, they're not saying, you know, you're not paying because you're using it for something else. They're just saying you owe us this money. Okay, and in not giving it to us, you are stopping us from earning interest on it somewhere else. Okay, so 2.1.2 says write down the balance, right, excluding interest that was brought forward on the last day of the previous year. So the balance brought forward is this 14819.50. It said excluding interest, so it would just be this. So it wouldn't be that amount, which includes interest. It would just be that amount. Okay, that's important. Let's put that in. Remember to include your rand values. Okay, because if you don't put rand values, you could be talking about literally anything, right? The rand value gives it meaning. Then it says, calculate the monthly interest rate that was used on the overdue fees for the previous year. So we're going to put interest over the amount that was owed, right, and see what percentage it is. So we're going to say 148.20. That's how much interest she owes over how much she actually owed the university. Okay, and we can times that by 100, right, because we want to work out the percentage. Okay, when we talk about interest rate, what that means is it means a percentage. Okay, so let's plug this into our calculator. Okay, so we go 148.2 over 14819.5. Okay, oh, times 100. Sorry, I told you to do that and I didn't do it myself. Okay, so it is 1%. Okay, cool. So that is that answer done. 1% that was charged. 2.1.4 says, write down the code and the name of the module/course that is most expensive. Okay, so let's go back to our addendum and let's see what's most expensive. So what we do is we say, okay, let's run our eyes down all these costs and see which one is the most expensive. So it's this APG 2039W Design and Theory Studio 2. Okay, APG 2039W Design and Theory Studio 2. Okay, cool. Just want to make sure you can see what's going on. So they literally are just asking us to interpret what we're seeing there. Okay, so let's now look at 2.1.5. It says, show how the amount of 6317.7 was calculated. So, okay, so this is how much she owed, right? That 4967.7, that was the amount she owed plus interest. Then there was a payment. Do you see that? And that was how much was left. So I think, let's double check it, right? 2.1.5. But I think if we say, right, if we say that she owed 14967.7 and she paid this much. Let's see how much she has left. And I think it will be that amount that we have there. 14967.70 minus 8650. Ta-da! So that is our answer. Okay. So you can write that. So you're basically saying, right, she owed this much. She owed this much. And then she paid it off. Okay, well, she paid part of it off, and then that's how much she still had left to pay. Okay. Let's see what else we need to do. 2.1.6 says, calculate the total amount debited to this account for the courses studied in the 2017 academic year, including interest on overdue fees. Okay, so what we need to do here, okay, is we need to, all of the 2017. So you see here, these weren't actually incurred in 2017, right? This was actually incurred the previous year. So this amount here is all of these costs from 2017, but it also includes this cost from 2016. So we're going to have to subtract that out from that, okay? Then we're going to have to add the interest cost, okay? And the interest cost we see there was charged twice. So they charged it every single month. Okay. So now what we're going to do is so we're not going to account for what was paid, right? Because what the question asked, let's just see. It said, calculate the total amount debited to this account for the courses studied in the academic year. So it didn't say, how much did she pay off? It just wants to know how much did it cost. Okay, including that interest that she did earn, that she has to pay in 2017 because she hasn't paid in time. So we're going to say the 62594.7, okay, because that's the sum up until that end of 2017 before she paid, because we don't care about her paying. We want to know how much she owed in 2017, how expensive the courses were. Then we're going to subtract off this amount that was due in 2016, okay? Then we're going to add in the interest that she owes in 2017. Okay, right? So how much the courses were in 2017. Okay, and then take off what she owed in 2016 and add in interest. So I get her studies in 2017 for her specific courses, okay, added up to 57,068 Rand and 90 cents. Okay, so it was quite an expensive course that she did, and that is how much it was in total for that course in that year. Okay, so it's important here to note that it was the courses studied in 2017, including interest overdue in 2017. So that's what we've done. So now it says, state the payment method used to transfer money into this account. Okay. So it says here, direct deposit. Okay, that's an easy-ish one, right? We just need to make sure we read off, right? We need to make sure we read off of our resource correctly. Direct deposit. Okie dokes. Okay, 2.1.8, our last question for this sub-question. A family friend paid the balance of 40,386.6 on condition that the amount could be paid back in equal monthly installments, interest-free. That's very kind, right? It's interest-free payment. I mean, that's fantastic. You don't really get interest-free anywhere. right? So show how a monthly installment of 8,077.32 was calculated if the first payment was due on 1 November 2017 and the last payment was due on 1 March 2018. Okay, so let's just count when these payments were made. Okay, so it was November, December, January, February, March. Okay, so it's 5 payments in total that were paid. Okay, so let's see if we say the total amount that she has to pay back to the family friend, or they have to pay back to the family friend, has to be split by 5. Okay, because there were 5 installments. Let's see whether that then actually helps us find that 8,000 number. Ah, look, exactly the number we want. Okay, so that is how we get it. Okay, so basically it was paid over 5 periods, right? Over 5 months. That was the total amount, interest-free. So that's how much she paid, or her and her family. Okay, so that is the end of that question. Let's move on to 2.2.